Hello, welcome to DK Boljat. I'm glad you're here. I've got this little hummingbird that was finished, but then I took a really close look at it and saw I need to touch up right in here, behind this twig, and maybe blend in this back trunk a little bit, and then I want to highlight his little head where the light's hitting it. And since he's got light coming from, I would say from here down, I'm going to put a little bit of pink or a lighter red. This is quinacridone red. I'm going to put a little bit more white with it to make it pink. And I'm using gambling colors. And I'm just going to use that on the top of his head where the light's hitting it. They're usually iridescent little feathers. So I'm trying to imagine what that would look like on him. It would probably be, but it's the rest of it's dry, like it dried from last time. See if that's much of a difference. Well, just a little bit. How about a little bit lighter? Adding a little white to it. And this brush is 10-0. I'm glad you're here with me. See if I can get the little feathers to go in. And he'll also need a little bit of light on his beak, which will be titanium white. I think that's pretty good. Grabbing a little bit of red, quinacridone red. And he has a pattern, but I don't think I'm going to go to the detail of making that little tiny pattern on there. I just put a little bit of red in there. And now I'm going to make black with burnt umber and ultramarine. Again, these are gambling colors. Got an example right there. And I'm going to make black. A very natural looking black. When I add it to the red, it's going to make gray. Needs a little bit of brown. There we go. It's going to be more shadowed down in here. And it's the tummy. There we go. In fact, I don't think there would be much light at all. The light's not going to be hitting him down there. Okay, and then I need to make this green. Scoot this over a little bit and mix up some of the greens that I have. So I have forest green, I have a little bit of forest right here, and then I have sap right here. I'm going to grab a little bit of medium and some yellow ochre. See if I can get that color. I might need to add a little white. Looks like it's a little bit whiter. There we go. A little bit more white. Cool part about oil is it dries the same color. So I don't have to guess how many shades or how much it's going to be different once it dries, you know. Got a little bit more sap in there. I need to add sap. Yeah, there we go. Might have gotten carried away with the yellow ochre. That's what it is. But I can also incorporate that throughout the tree if I wanted to keep that there. don't know how many people I've worked with that, you know, people that are learning and they just keep painting even if it's the wrong color. You want to stop and reassess what you're doing. Let's see, is that close? It's pretty close. In fact, it might just need a little bit of white in it. I was blocking the light. And you know what? Speaking of light, let me turn this one on. That was my chair. There we go. We'll turn on the light. All right. Try this again. There we are. I'm going to need to fade it out a little bit because it's pretty, this is pretty, you can tell this is pretty intense right there. And the rest of the tree isn't, so come in here with it too. But yeah, I wanted to do final details on this little guy. Okay, so it could be, it could have a little bit more sap. I'm gonna add more sap. Sap green. Okay, so I'm going to blend that. This is just a round, it's a round brush. Number 3. And what I'm going to need to do to make it not so vividly a different shade of green, I'm going to have to blend it out. Adding more sap in there. There we go. And then I can put this in the tree elsewhere, so it's not, whoa, just right there, you know. I can put it so it's throughout the tree and you're not going to notice it as much. Otherwise it would be like this big light shining to right there, and I don't need that to happen. Just here and there. I just have to blend that out. Same round brush. Grab a Q-tip. Take off some of the paint. There we go. On this up here, I'll put some color. Does it need a little bit of white? There we go. I'm going to blend it out. And because the blue is already dry, it's not going to be able to blend into that unless I put fresh sky blue on there. I'm going to try to avoid doing that. Use a Q-tip. There we go. I'm just cleaning off my brush a little bit. I'm just blending, I'm making that part that I painted on there be less noticeably freshly painted on there, if that makes sense. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I like his bright pink. That's good. The light's hitting him on the top of his head. He needs white on his little beak. So I'm going to clean off my brush with a little bit of walnut oil and get some white on it. I don't need green on it to do his beak. However many times it takes, there we go. And then to paint that on his beak, I need to turn the canvas. Let me see if I have some fresh white without any other color in it. There we go. There we are. If I pull it nice and flat on the palette here, and then pull the brush through it, it will make a nice fine line. The black's already dry, so it's not going to blend into that. It's going to sit on top of it. Cleaning off the brush again. Make sure I get that white off of there. And I'm going to come underneath it with no paint. This has just got the oil from the Daniel Smith walnut oil. I'm going to pull underneath here. And I can grab a little bit of black. I got black right here. I got your black right here. And make sure and roll it out so it's nice and flat. There we go. And again, this time I'm going to come from this side. I might have made it a little thick, so I can thin it down. I'll clean off this brush. I'm using the walnut oil to clean it off. I don't have to breathe the odorless paint thinner, because this is oil paint. Going back in here, turning your sideways, we'll fix it. I'll use a Q-tip maybe. There we are. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I need to do a signature on it, and I'm gonna use a different brush, a thinner brush, to do that. I have this very small brush. It's a Princeton round. It says it's a 3-0. I'm gonna go in the medium and go into the black. I don't know if I want it black. Maybe I'll do it dark green. It might be good. I'm going to roll my brush in the green. Make sure it's thin enough. Kind of like ink thin. There we go. Which side am I going to sign? Let's see. I'm going to write as small as I can. I'm just using the tip. I'm not going to press down. And I have to eyeball, keep it above the, like the same. I don't want it to go up or down. I want it to be the same level as the bottom there. Now I could, if I wanted to, I could put tape there to help me keep the distance, but I'm gonna eyeball it. Occasionally I have to get more paint. And clean off the brush. And I'm glad you joined me today for final touch-ups on this little guy. I love painting hummingbirds. Okay, I think it's pretty much clean. I'm trying not to pick up anything in the oil there. I'm going to take a little bit out on the A. Going across the top. There we go. That worked. Yeah, I'm glad you joined me. Please subscribe to DK Boljat and join me for the next video, which I'm pretty sure is a hummingbird. Yeah, imagine that. I'm going to be working on that. I have it right here. It's in the ugly stage, but it's going to get there. Put you guys back together here. So thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to DK Boljat, and God bless you, my friend.